I never expected it to go viral. What started as a personal challenge, a simple 30-day experiment with the prayers of Medjugorje, turned into something much bigger than I could have ever imagined. It all began when I felt this tugging in my heart to dive deeper into my spiritual life. Life was getting hectic, filled with stress, distractions, and a sense of emptiness I couldn't quite shake. I'd heard so much about the apparitions in Medjugorje, the messages of the Virgin Mary, and how they had impacted people around the world. But I didn't think that those messages could fit into my own life, at least not until I made the decision to commit to it for 30 days. I started my journey with a simple idea, to incorporate Medjugorje's focus on prayer, especially the Rosary, into my daily routine. Every day I would pray the full Rosary and follow Maria Eucharistic's messages as best as I could. I wasn't doing it to make a point or to prove anything to anyone. It was more of an internal, personal quest to see if these prayers could help me find more peace and direction in my life. But as I began sharing snippets of this journey on social media, things took a turn I wasn't expecting. On the first day, I posted a simple message, starting a 30-day experiment with the prayers of Medjugorje. Let a Eucharistic see where this takes me. I thought only a handful of people would see it, maybe my close friends and family. I had no idea that this post would resonate with so many. Almost instantly, comments started flooding in. People were curious, asking questions like, "What is Medjugorje?" and "How do these prayers work?" Others shared their own experiences with faith, saying how much they admired the commitment to prayer but had never been able to stick to it themselves. Encouraged by their interest, I decided to post updates about how the prayers were affecting me, both spiritually and emotionally. By the end of the first week, things were starting to change. The daily rosary, which had once felt like an obligation, began to feel like a lifeline. I found myself looking forward to those moments of quiet reflection, the beads slipping through my fingers as I meditated on the mysteries of Christa Eucharistic's life. The noise of the world, the stress and the constant buzz of my phone started to fade into the background, and the strangest thing happened. The more I prayed, the more I wanted to pray. It was like this growing hunger for something deeper, something more meaningful than the distractions that usually filled my day. My social media posts became more honest, more vulnerable. I wasn't just sharing the good moments. I was also talking about the struggles. I admitted how hard it was to carve out time for prayer in my busy schedule. There were days when I felt too tired, days when I wondered if this experiment was really making a difference. But even on those days, something pushed me to keep going. The messages of Medjugorje talk about perseverance in prayer, even when you don't feel like it, and I realized that this was part of the lesson. Faith is always about the high moments. Eucharistic's also about the quiet, steady commitment, even when you don't see immediate results. Around the middle of the second week, something incredible happened. One of my posts went viral. I had shared a photo of my prayer space, just a simple corner of my room with a rosary, a candle, and a small statue of the Virgin Mary. I wrote about how this tiny space had become my sanctuary, a place where I could step away from the chaos of the world and find peace. The post took off like wildfire. Within hours, thousands of people were liking, commenting, and sharing it. It was surreal. Messages poured in from all over the world. Some people shared their own prayer practices, while others asked for advice on how to start their own spiritual journey. What surprised me most were the messages from people who had never prayed before, telling me that they felt inspired to try it for themselves. I wasn't prepared for the attention. I had set out on this journey for personal reasons, but now it felt like something bigger was unfolding. It was as if my small experiment was touching lives far beyond my own. People were creating their own 30-day prayer challenges, tagging me in their posts and sharing their progress. I was humbled by how something as simple as prayer could unite so many people across different backgrounds and experiences. It wasn't about me. It was about the power of prayer and the deep human need for connection with the divine. By the third week, I had developed a rhythm. Prayer had become the anchor of my day, the thing that grounded me when everything else felt chaotic. but it wasn't ERTM'd just about the Rosary anymore. The messages of Medjugorje had also encouraged me to deepen my relationship with God in other ways, like attending Mass more frequently and spending time in Eucharistic adoration. I began to notice changes in myself that went beyond the spiritual. I was becoming more patient, more centered, and less reactive to the little frustrations that used to drive me crazy. It was as if this daily commitment to prayer was slowly reshaping me from the inside out. I shared these reflections with my growing community online, and the conversations that followed were incredible. People shared their own struggles with patience and faith, and we talked about how prayer could help us all become better versions of ourselves. I realized that this wasn't just a personal experiment anymore. It had become a movement of sorts. People were encouraging each other, sharing prayer tips, and offering support when the journey got tough. It was beautiful to witness. As the 30 days came to a close, I felt a profound sense of gratitude. This experiment had started as a way to deepen my own spiritual life, but it had grown into something far beyond what I expected. The prayers of Medjugorje had not only brought me closer to God, but they had also connected me with people from all over the world. I had discovered a community of faith that was as hungry for peace, prayer, and purpose as I was. And I realized that this journey didn't have to end after 30 days. On the final day, I posted a reflection on what the experience had taught me. I wrote about how prayer isn't just something we do to check off a list. It's a conversation with God, a way to invite His presence into every moment of our lives. It's about finding peace in the midst of chaos and trusting that God is with us, even when we can't see the whole picture. I thanked everyone who had followed along on this journey and encouraged them to keep going in their own spiritual practice, whether it was through the Rosary, daily prayers, or simply taking a few moments of quiet each day. And as I hit post, I felt a deep sense of peace. My 30-day experiment with Medjugorje prayers may have gone viral, but the true transformation happened within me. It reminded me of the power of faith, the importance of community, and the incredible ways that God can work through even the smallest acts of devotion. And I realized that this was only the beginning of my journey. The prayers of Medjugorje would continue to guide me long after the viral posts faded away.